It's easy to see Cristiano Ronaldo as an unshakable force, the man who defies gravity, time, and human limits. The man with the sculpted physique, the unwavering confidence, the unrelenting hunger to win. But behind that steel armor of greatness lies a beating heart, one that feels pain as deeply as it feels passion. And there have been moments, rare, powerful moments when the world has seen that heartbreak, when the legend shed his invincible mask and showed us something far more profound, his humanity. One of those moments came not under the blinding lights of a stadium, but in front of a camera, years after the battles were fought. In a sit-down interview, Ronaldo was shown a clip, something simple, something unexpected. It was an old video of his late father, José Diniz Aveiro, speaking proudly of his son. His father, who died of alcoholism in 2005, had rarely expressed emotion publicly. But in that grainy footage, he spoke with tears in his eyes about how proud he was of Cristiano. And in that instant, the man the world knew as CR7, the relentless champion, collapsed into tears. His voice cracked, his eyes glistened. For a moment, he was not the icon, not the billionaire athlete, but the boy from Madeira who had lost his father too soon. "I never saw that video," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I never heard him speak like that." It was a moment that stripped away fame, fortune, and legend. The cameras caught not the global superstar, but the son who still longed for one more conversation, one more chance to hear his father say, "I'm proud of you." Ronaldo, who had conquered the world, suddenly looked small, not because he was weak, but because he was real. That moment told the world something they had never fully seen. Behind his drive was pain. Behind his perfectionism was the memory of a father he could never share his success with. Ronaldo's rise from poverty had been fueled by love, but also by loss. His father had seen only the beginning of his greatness. Every goal, every trophy since then carried a silent dedication to the man who wasn't there to see them. And yet, that wasn't the only time Cristiano Ronaldo broke down. There have been tears that flowed from triumph and tears born from tragedy. July 10th, 2016, the night of the UEFA Euro final, Portugal versus France. For Ronaldo, it was destiny. Years of heartbreak on the international stage had led to this moment. The match began with hope, with fire. But only 25 minutes in, that hope turned to agony. A brutal collision left Ronaldo writhing on the turf, clutching his knee. He tried to continue, pushing through the pain, tears welling as the captain in him refused to surrender. But eventually, his body gave way. As he sat on the grass, tears streamed down his face. The cameras captured it, the great Cristiano Ronaldo, sobbing uncontrollably, his dream crumbling before his eyes. Fans who once saw him as untouchable suddenly saw the fragility of a man who cared too deeply to hide it. But destiny had another plan. Though he could not play, Ronaldo refused to leave. Bandaged and limping, he transformed from player to coach on the sidelines, shouting, guiding, living every second of that match with his teammates. When Portugal finally lifted the trophy, his tears returned, but this time, they were tears of redemption. He wept not because he had won, but because his country had triumphed. The boy from Madeira had given everything for Portugal, and now Portugal was giving it back. It was one of football's most human moments, a reminder that even legends bleed, even heroes cry. Ronaldo's tears have always meant more than sorrow. They've represented the weight of everything he carries, the expectations, the sacrifices, the loneliness behind the glory. There was another night, years later, when those tears returned not on the field, but in life. In April 2022, Cristiano and Georgina Rodriguez faced an unimaginable tragedy, the loss of one of their newborn twins. In a single moment, joy and grief collided. The world saw their statement, heartfelt, devastating. It is with our deepest sadness we have to announce that our baby boy has passed away. It is the greatest pain any parent can feel. For a man who had always been the picture of strength, that pain shattered him. He later shared how football for the first time felt empty. Training, matches, goals, none of it filled the silence that loss left behind. And yet, even in that pain, he found strength in his family, in his surviving daughter, in the love of those around him. His tears, though unseen by cameras, spoke louder than any celebration ever could. Through all these moments, Ronaldo has shown that emotion doesn't weaken a man, it defines him. His tears have always been the bridge between the legend and the human. Even on the pitch, he has never hidden that vulnerability. The Champions League final in 2008, when he missed a penalty for Manchester United and wept openly before redemption arrived with victory. The World Cup exits, when cameras caught him with his head bowed, tears streaming, because he knew how much he had wanted to give to his nation. Those moments weren't signs of failure. They were proof of his passion. Ronaldo doesn't play football, he lives it. Every victory is personal, every defeat a wound. That's what makes him more than an athlete. That's what makes him human. People often mistake his confidence for arrogance, his drive for ego. But those tears, those moments of raw honesty reveal the truth. He is a man who feels deeply, who loves deeply, who suffers deeply. A man who knows what it means to lose, to fight, to rise, and to break only to rise again. In a world obsessed with perfection, Ronaldo's tears remind us that even perfection has a pulse. That greatness isn't about never falling, it's about rising after you've broken. When Cristiano Ronaldo cries, the world pauses, not because of the tears themselves, but because they remind us of everything behind them. The boy who left his island with nothing, the son who lost his father too early, the athlete who gave everything for his country, the father who mourned a child, the man who still dreams, still feels, still loves. And maybe that's why people connect with him so deeply. Because behind the flawless physique, the golden boots, and the endless records, there is a human being who dares to feel openly, unapologetically. When Cristiano Ronaldo broke down in tears, it wasn't weakness. It was truth. It was the kind of truth that reminds us that no matter how high we rise, we're all still human at heart. His tears were not the fall of a hero, they were the awakening of one. For every goal he's scored, every trophy he's lifted, and every moment he's dominated the world, there's a tear somewhere that tells the real story. The story of a man who built his greatness on pain, on love, and on the courage to feel. Cristiano Ronaldo's tears will be remembered not as moments of defeat, but as glimpses of his soul, the soul of a man who conquered the world, but never forgot what it meant to be human.